Our stickman loves exploring new places. Today, he has arrived at a mysterious forest that many people are afraid to enter. He checks his map one last time. Everything seems easy enough, or so he thinks. He steps into the forest without fear. The adventure has officially begun. The forest feels peaceful and quiet. Nothing seems unusual yet. He tries to check his location, but suddenly his phone loses its signal. Without a signal, he decides to trust the map instead. He has no idea that things are about to change. The deeper he walks, the quieter the forest becomes. Even the birds have disappeared. Suddenly, he hears a strange noise behind him. It sounds like someone is walking through the trees. He turns around carefully, but there's nobody there. Maybe it was just his imagination. He tries to convince himself there's nothing to worry about. Then he notices something strange. Fresh footprints appear on the path, but they aren't his. Curiosity gets the better of him. He decides to follow the mysterious trail. The footprints lead to an old abandoned cabin. Something about it doesn't feel right. Taking a deep breath, he slowly opens the door. The silence inside is almost frightening. The cabin looks completely empty, but somehow it feels like someone is watching him. A loud creak echoes through the cabin. His heart begins to race. Every instinct tells him to leave. Whatever made that sound is getting closer. Then he finally sees it, a mysterious shadow standing silently between the trees. Suddenly, he realizes he may not be alone after all. The shadow slowly disappears behind the trees before he can get a closer look. He calls out, hoping someone will answer. Only silence comes back. A cold wind suddenly blows through the forest, making the trees creak softly. He checks his map again, but the trail marked on it is nowhere to be found. Confused and worried, he chooses a different path, hoping it leads out of the forest. As he walks, faint whispers seem to drift through the air from every direction. He stops and listens carefully, but the whispers vanish as quickly as they appeared. Trying to stay calm, he lights his lantern a little brighter and keeps moving. The forest seems darker now, even though it should still be daytime. He notices the same unusual tree 3 times, realizing he has been walking in circles. Panic begins to grow. No matter which direction he chooses, everything looks exactly the same. Then, out of the corner of his eye, he sees a pale, ghostly figure standing between the trees. When he turns to face it, the figure disappears without making a sound. He starts walking faster, his heartbeat growing louder with every step. The whispers return, louder than before, almost as if they are calling his name. Suddenly, the lantern flickers and the light becomes weaker. A soft laugh echoes through the forest, sending chills down his spine. He realizes the terrifying truth. He isn't just lost in the haunted forest. Something is following him. The stickman breaks into a run, hoping to leave the whispers behind. Branches seem to reach toward him as he races through the forest. He glances over his shoulder, but all he sees are endless rows of trees. Suddenly, the ghostly figure appears again, much closer than before. It doesn't attack or speak. It simply watches him in complete silence. The stickman keeps running until he reaches an old wooden bridge. He hesitates for a moment, unsure if the bridge is safe to cross. Taking a deep breath, he carefully steps onto the bridge. The wooden boards creak beneath his feet, echoing through the quiet forest. Halfway across, another cold breeze blows, making his lantern flicker wildly. He looks down and notices dark water flowing silently below. Just as he reaches the other side, the bridge collapses behind him with a loud crash. Relieved, he believes the ghost can no longer follow him. Then he hears the same soft footsteps on the other side of the broken bridge. Slowly, the ghost begins floating across the gap without touching the water. The stickman's eyes grow wide with fear as he realizes there is nowhere left to hide. Desperate for help, he spots a glowing stone standing alone in the forest. He rushes toward the mysterious light, hoping it may finally lead him to safety. The glowing stone shines with a warm light that feels different from the darkness around it. As he reaches out, strange symbols begin to glow across the surface of the stone. An old spirit slowly appears, but its face looks kind instead of frightening. The gentle spirit explains that the forest is cursed and traps anyone who enters with fear. The stickman listens carefully, trying to understand how he can escape. The spirit tells him that the ghosts feed on panic, not on people. To break the curse, he must stay calm and walk through the forest without giving in to fear. Taking a deep breath, the stickman steadies himself and thanks the spirit. He turns back toward the haunted path, this time walking with confidence. The ghostly figures appear again, floating silently between the trees. Instead of running, he continues walking forward without looking away. The whispers grow louder, trying to frighten him one last time. He closes his eyes for a moment, takes another deep breath, and keeps moving. One by one, the ghosts begin to fade into the air like morning mist. The dark forest slowly becomes brighter as sunlight filters through the trees. A familiar trail finally appears in front of him, leading toward the forest entrance. He smiles with relief as he steps out of the haunted forest and into the open daylight. Looking back one last time, he quietly thanks the kind spirit, knowing he will never forget the lesson that courage is stronger than fear. The warm sunlight fills the path as the stickman finally leaves the haunted forest behind. He takes one long, deep breath and smiles, grateful to be safe again. Looking back, the forest stands completely silent, as if nothing had ever happened. He folds his map and places it carefully inside his backpack. His phone suddenly comes back to life with a full signal. He laughs with relief and sends a quick message to let everyone know he's safe. As he walks toward home, he thinks about everything he experienced in the mysterious forest. He realizes that fear became stronger only when he allowed it to control his mind. The kind spirit's words stay with him every step of the way. Real courage wasn't about fighting ghosts. It was about staying calm when everything felt frightening. Days later, people ask him if the haunted forest is truly cursed. He smiles and tells them that some mysteries are best experienced, not explained. Although the adventure was terrifying, it made him stronger and wiser. Now he knows that bravery isn't the absence of fear. It's the choice to keep moving despite it. As the sun sets, he looks toward the distant forest one last time. For a brief moment, a gentle glowing light appears between the trees before fading away. The stickman smiles, believing the kind spirit is watching over the forest once again. Some mysteries never disappear, but with courage, even the darkest path can lead you safely home. The end.